This beer spent 18 months in bourbon barrels and was limited to 2 cans per customer, and might be one of the most impressive Imperial Stouts I've had coming out of Texas. How's it going, guys? Bennett here with Brewbods and Barbells, where we lift pints and weights, and today we're heading back to Texas and visiting a brewery that has a special place in my story. We're talking about Excalibur Brewing Company in Old Town Spring, Texas, and their 2025 release of barrel-aged Black Aether. And trust me, this is not just another big stout. This thing is a full-blown experience. So one reason why this beer means so much to me, because I used to live right down the road. I spent years in Spring and Conroe area north of Houston. So watching Excalibur continue to grow, continue to experiment, and continue to push that barrel aging program has been amazing to watch. Even after moving away, it's still a brewery I continuously keep an eye on. And thanks to my best friend living still in Texas, I was able to get my hands on one of these incredibly limited releases. Only 2 cans were allowed per customer. So naturally, I wasn't drinking this one immediately. I saved it and I wanted to do a little extra time on it. So I actually did get to try this. We shared the first can together, so I actually can compare the two and just wait. Before we even open the can, I want to talk about this label. Black Aether has these nice dark skies, crimson streaks, and an hourglass in the center, almost like time itself is trapped inside. And honestly, this is exactly what barrel aging is. Time becomes an ingredient, not just bourbon, not just coffee, not just vanilla, time. And this beer has a lot of it, 18 months worth. And I have everything on the side of the can. Now, let's talk about the barrels, because that's where the real magic begins. This stout spent 18 months inside of Ghost Hill bourbon barrels from Treaty Oak Distilling in Texas. Treaty Oak is one of the most respected craft distilleries in Texas, and Ghost Hill bourbon is built around Texas grain and Texas identity. So when breweries use barrels like these, they're not simply storing beer, they're creating a second fermentation of flavor. The wood breathes, the beer absorbs bourbon character, the vanilla develops from the oak, the tannins soften. Oxidation actually creates a deeper layer of caramel and dark fruit. The barrel itself becomes like a seasoning vessel, and 18 months is a serious commitment. That's not a quick turnaround. You're putting all your eggs in one basket. That's patience. Now, why barrel aging matters. Most beers measured in weeks. Barrel-aged Imperial Stouts are measured in months, sometimes years. The reason breweries do this is because the beer actually transforms over time. The sharp edges become rounded. Flavors are more integrated. The roast character softens. The bourbon becomes more elegant, which is what this one actually does. Everything begins working together instead of competing. And that's exactly what happened. Now, pouring this beer, it's absolutely massive. Jet black. You get no light getting through this. A nice thick dark body that immediately tells you this beer means business. The aroma is incredible. The first thing I actually got is that nice whiff of that bourbon note. It's got a nice deep, slightly on the back end coffee character that jumps out, but that bourbon is there with that vanilla and the oak, and it has this nice rich dark fruit note that developed from all the time in the barrel. Now, taking a sip, that balance is so impressive. For 17%, it drinks so smooth. You absolutely know it's big, but it doesn't feel hot. You get layers. Bourbon, coffee, that vanilla, that oak, a little dark chocolate, and then everything slows into this warming finish of that bourbon. The longer it sits, guys, the flavors keep appearing. I have been letting this warm up a little bit. You might be able to tell by the condensation on the glass. But another piece of this that's really cool is the coffee edition. So Excalibur actually partnered with Dragons and Unicorns Coffee, and that's exactly what I love about craft beer. Local businesses supporting local businesses. Instead of simply throwing random coffee into a beer, they're creating something that reflects their local community. The coffee provides structure, you get the depth, you get the roast, and it works beautifully with the bourbon barrel character. Now let's talk about style. Imperial Stouts originated in England but became famous through exports to Russia during the 1700s. The higher alcohol content helped preserve the beer during long journeys. Over time, the style evolved into one of the biggest and most complex styles in craft beer. Today, brewers use barrel aging, coffee, vanilla, maple syrup, and countless ingredients to build layers in the beer. And beers like Black Aether represent the extreme of that, what it can become. Massive, patiently crafted, and absolutely unforgettable. One thing I've always appreciated about Excalibur as a whole is they continue pushing those boundaries. They're not afraid to experiment. They do a lot of small batch brewing, and they're not afraid to take those chances. They're constantly creating beers that showcase ingredients rather than simply chasing trends. This beer is proof of that, and 18 months in barrels, specialty coffee choice, Madagascar vanilla, limited release, small batch. That's dedication to craft, in my opinion. Black Aether isn't just a beer you crush after mowing the lawn. It is a truly sit-down beer, a conversation beer. That's really what this was for us. My best friend and I, we were just able to get together during that Christmas time, enjoy this back-to-back with each other. And like the first can was amazing. And if you're a huge fan of barrel-aged stouts, bourbon character, coffee, vanilla, this has got to be on your radar. Excalibur has got to be on your radar. Now, have you ever had a barrel-aged stout that completely blew you away? Drop in the comments. And if you're enjoying these deep dives into breweries, ingredients, beer history, and craft beer culture, hey man, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and follow along for more. I got a lot more coming down the pipeline. Let me know your favorite beers from them. I'd like to get them a try too. Cheers, guys.